Okay, YouTube, in this last video on my module on kind of, collecting data and sampling methods, what we're going to look at is recognizing basically bias in survey questions and maybe talking about how we could write questions better so that our sample results are not biased in favor of one kind of outcome or another, and therefore we won't make mistakes in making judgments about our hypothesis about an entire population. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we are discussing here. It says when designing a survey, it's important to word survey questions so that they do not lead to biased results. So we say that answers to poorly worded questions may not accurately reflect the opinions or actions of those being surveyed, which would be bad because then we're going to make improper assumptions about our hypothesis or maybe an incorrect decision. So we'd say that questions that are flawed in a way that leads to an inaccurate result or inaccurate results, these are called bias questions. And so we want to avoid questions that these 4 bullet points kind of describe. And so taking a look at these 4 bullet points, a question that would encourage a particular type of response. If you wanted, I guess this would be kind of unethical, but if you wanted a certain type of response to promote your brand or something like that, you might write a question in a little bit biased so that people would be more inclined to answer it a certain way. Also, are too sensitive to answer truthfully. Thing is, if you're asking somebody really, really personal questions, I would suppose if I'm say a doctor, they would tell me. But even if I'm a doctor, people would have a hard time sharing really personal information. So if you're writing a question that is very, very personal or puts it in terms of themselves, then they may not answer it. In terms of putting it another way, we could put it in terms of an entire group of people, and then they're not talking about themselves, they're talking about how they feel about maybe a particular issue. So the other 2 here, we say addressing more than one issue. Is your question talking about one thing or another? And then lastly, do not provide enough information to give an accurate opinion. So if you're asking me a question, but you're not really telling me what it's about, and I don't know what it's about already, I'm not going to give you an answer probably that represents what people actually think about it when they actually know what it is you're asking them. So here's what we're going to do on this last part of this video here. But basically, read through a question here and talk about why it might be biased and how we might rewrite it in a way that would be less biased. So it says here that a dentist surveys his patients by asking, do you brush your teeth at least twice per day and floss every day? Now, I know me, okay? And I'm not saying I'm one of these people, but I'm saying I used to be one of these people, and dental work is very expensive. But, I brush my teeth a lot now. But if somebody in the past would have asked me, do you brush your teeth at least twice a day? This is a kind of a personal question for some people. And who in their right mind is going to say, no, absolutely not. I refuse to brush my teeth every day. And even if you are a person that brushes them once a day, which even though I don't fall in that subcategory, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying that you're probably more inclined to lie on this one just so that your dentist thinks you're doing it. And people that go to the dentist and they brush, the one time they brush is right before they go. They want to look good in front of their dentist. So what we're going to say here is that, if I'm asking, do you brush your teeth at least twice a day, why this might not encourage a valid response, because I'm asking about you. I'm asking about, do you brush your teeth at least twice a day? And so this might be a very sensitive topic to answer truthfully here, okay? And if I'm asking if you do brush your teeth, okay, then I may also be encouraging a particular type of response. I may be expecting you to say yes. I'm encouraging you to say yes. So in terms of why this might be biased, okay, let's write down what we kind of mentioned here. A person might feel self-conscious. Oh, I'm going to get my hyphen corrected here. Conscious about answering this question truthfully if they do not brush at least twice per day. So how could we rewrite this question is something I want you to think about here. Could we state it in a way that doesn't refer to the person that we're asking this question of? So maybe we could put something like this. Many dentists agree that brushing at least twice a day is important, okay? Do you agree? Then now what we're doing is we're shifting it from do you do it twice a day to a statement that is about everybody and how dentists feel about it, and kind of making it a yes-no neutral thing. So maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but it doesn't say anything about you. And you can kind of see how rewording a question would frame it a little bit differently if you do so. Cheers.